What's up, guys? Recently I watched The Walking Dead. Or not recently, I watched it when it aired. The Walking Dead Season 4 premiere. If you guys don't know, I'm a big Walking Dead fan. Let me show you right here. I have all the comic books. I have Season 1, 2, and 3 on DVD. I've been watching the series about 5 times through, from the beginning. Biggest Walking Dead fan you've ever seen, alright? Well, probably not. That's an overstatement, but whatever. I want to start making reviews for the series. Well, the long wait for season 4 has come, and I loved it. Amazing episode. Okay, so I guess I'll start from the beginning. So, the first thing you see is the new look on the prison. It's been, I think, 6 or 7 months since the end of season 3 and going into season 4. And I like how it shows how they haven't just been sitting on their butts for 6 or 7 months, you know? They've actually done a lot of improvements to the prison. The prison looks more like a home now. It looks more like a community. And because they have like little huts everywhere, they even have a generator and a bunch of pigs and a horse and everything. And it just really feels like a whole new environment. Because a lot of people are getting tired of the prison, just seeing it. I don't think that's a problem anymore because the environment of the prison has changed so much. It's almost like a completely different place. Okay, so first scene, you see Rick come out. He's got an iPod now, and that is such a cool scene where Rick's, out doing his everyday life now, just a day in the life of Rick Grimes, just going out farming. He's pretty much a farmer now. That's how he gets the food for the community. And I like how he has the iPod in, and when he pulls it out, you can hear, like the instant zombies. Because if you think about it, if you were that close to zombies, just piling up on the fence 24/7 for 6 months, you go crazy, man. You just hearing that sound in your head all day, you go crazy. So I'd see where he needs an iPod. Kind of daring, losing that sense of hearing. But I'd definitely do it after 6 months of listening to that. And pretty cool, the Weird Walker with the diseased eyes, which I'll get into disease later, what I think that is. And then it shows more of the community after that. It shows Herschel, he's a farmer, he's got a new prosthetic leg. Took that from the comic books, I like it. And Michonne's riding on a horse. She's out on a hunt for the governor, which is reasonable because, he killed her best friend last season. And Daryl, I love how Daryl is like a rock star at the prison now. Everyone looks up to him. Everyone's like, "Hey, Daryl." He's like, "What up, Dr. S?" and everything. The one nerdy kid named Patrick, he's a new character, and he's like, "I'll be honored to shake your hand." It's so funny. And then basically getting into the episode, well, you have a bonding moment in between Rick and Michonne, and I like that. I really want them to get together. Yeah, I think that'll be pretty cool because they're both badasses, and I think that'll be pretty cool. And Tyrese and Karen are dating now. Tyrese is pretty soft. I think he's gonna harden up this season. I like Tyrese. He's like a big teddy bear. You can't not like Tyrese. I mean, come on. And then, okay, getting into the episode, the group splits up. Daryl, this new character, Bob Stuckey, I'll get into him later. Michonne, Glenn, and is that pretty much it? I might be missing out some people, but I think it's a majority. And Beth's new boyfriend, who I'll get into later. They go to the big spot, which is kind of like a Big Lots ripoff, looking for supplies. I thought it was a funny scene where Beth's new boyfriend, I forgot his name, was trying to guess what Daryl did before the zombie apocalypse. He's like undercover cop, and Daryl's like, "Yep." It's hilarious. I love Daryl this season. I really hope they don't kill him off. I'm not a fanboy that's like, "Oh, if Daryl dies in The Walking Dead, I'm gonna stop watching." I really like Daryl. He's a funny character. And then oh yeah, the special effects with the walkers just going through the ceiling and the helicopter at the end. It reminded me of World War Z, which I'm not a fan of. It's a good movie, but it's just another movie to show Brad Pitt saving the world. It's not a zombie movie. That's my biggest complaint with it. But enough with World War Z. But Yeah, the action and special effects was very cool. Something that hasn't been done before, which I like. I love it when Walking Dead surprises people with something that hasn't been done before. Zombies, tangled up in the cords. That's hilarious. I love that. Now, Bob Stuckey, about his character. I don't trust him. He smiles too much. I think he's gonna turn on the group or do something kind of strange. Maybe he has a darkness inside of him or something. Yeah, I think he's not all mentally there, and I think something pretty bad's gonna happen with him. And he's definitely not gonna make it through this whole season, I don't think. He's probably definitely gonna die. And then we have story time with Carl, and talking to the other kids. And Carl, he's put down his mother. He's gone through almost like everything imaginable, all this terrible stuff, and he can't fit in. He cannot fit in. And speaking of fitting in, Rick finding that new girl, it's crazy. Well, first off, Rick, I like how he, with the help of Herschel and the loss of Andrea and his son, shooting that kid, he's trying to come back from what he was in season 3. Season 3, he just went off his wire, kind of like Shane did, and he's thinking, that's not working. Let me give humanity another chance. Kind of Herschel's philosophy. I like the new council now. I like how they did that in the comics and they added it into the TV show. Because, Rick, he doesn't want to be leader anymore. It's too much stress. So stepping back and having a council, pretty good idea. Council won't last long, though. Pretty sure Rick will pretty much take over after this season. The council will all be either dead or just dropped, probably. The whole council will be dropped. And, let's see. Yeah, Rick trying to hold on to his humanity was really cool. Now, Rick is getting too damn comfortable. Like, walking outside, first off the iPod, not listening, and then throwing the gun away? Really? I mean, think back to even season 1, where he's like, you gotta have guns. And then, also, he meets that crazy girl that scared the crap out of me. When I first saw her, I'm like, is she part of the Hunters, Because if you read the comic books, you know what I'm talking about. The Hunters are like a group of cannibals. I'm like, yeah, I'm excited for them coming in, but this early? And she turns out to just be a crazy lady. And Rick basically gets pretty close one right there when he almost dies for being too nice. And she does the Romeo and Juliet thing and stabs him. I mean, not stabs him, stabs herself. And he asked the 3 questions, which I thought were very good 3 questions. The 3 questions were, how many walkers have you killed? How many people have you killed? And why? I thought those are some, decent questions. Pretty cool. They didn't have that in the comics, so that's pretty cool. And what else? Rick kind of breaking down, it seems like Rick right now, he's trying to come back, but he still has that darkness in him. I feel like he's just going to snap at some point and go back to normal, but he's on his last nerve trying to give humanity another chance. See, anything else? Alright, let's talk about the disease. The new threat, it's got to be disease. It's got to be the water, because when Patrick, the nerdy little kid, died at the end, is focused on the water spigot, And there was also water barrels open everywhere, and that sick pig probably drank some contaminated water. And that's what I think it is. I think the new threat is disease. Okay? And, I mean, they're just asking for it, keeping open buckets of water everywhere. The open barrels, just anyone could have done anything to that. They're just asking for disease. So I think that's pretty stupid. At least put a lid on it. I mean, come on. And what else in the episode? Carol teaching the kids story time. And then, instead of story time, she's actually teaching them how to survive by using knives and stuff. I think it's a good idea, If the kids ever try and pull anything, I think Rick and Daryl and pretty much everyone there would stop a little kid. So teaching kids how to survive is pretty good. I think Carol's doing it because of what happened to her daughter, Sophia, in season 2. And she doesn't want these little kids ending up like that. She wants them to be strong and survive in this world, which I like that. Rick might not like it, but I think Carol's doing the right decision. I really like Carol. season 3 and 4. She's been a pretty good character. I didn't care much for her back in the early seasons, but now I'm really liking her. And what else? Let's see. Beth, when she learns that her boyfriend's dead, she's like, yeah, whatever. I'm 0 days now without an accident. People die all the time. I'm used to it. I don't even cry anymore. I think she hugged Daryl for a little too long after that. Okay, well, my theory is in the comic books, if you guys read that, what happened to Carol in the comics with her being a little slut, I guess you could say, and her going suicidal, that may be what's happening to Beth this season. I think that'd be pretty cool. I could see her filling the place of Carol in the comic books. If you read the comic books, you know what I'm talking about with Carol's little story arc in there in the comics. So let's see what else in this episode. Just a great episode. It's mostly just catching up on the characters because it's been a while. It's been a time skip. They didn't really influence the time skip that much in season 3. All winter. They didn't really say much about it, but they've been just going house to house. That's really all they've been saying. This season, it looks like they've done a lot, And let's see. Anything else? Just scanning for the episode. Yeah, the ending is a walker in the prison. It's gonna be pretty interesting what happens next. And yeah, they got to work with that thing with walkers getting near the fences. What was Tyrese talking about when he's like, we need more supplies to help build the fences? And then what is he just gonna like get something to run the walkers over with or something? Because he doesn't like stabbing them through the fences. What's he gonna do? I mean, come on. Yeah, this disease is probably gonna be a very big problem. They're probably going to lack resources pretty badly. And yeah, I can't wait for next week's episode. Walking Dead being back on the air is so good. Breaking Bad kind of held me in between season 3 and season 4. Breaking Bad is an amazing show. I did a review for the first episode of Breaking Bad, by the way. I'm gonna start doing reviews for that. And just the last episode of Breaking Bad, amazing. If you haven't checked that show out, you got to. But back on Walking Dead, I give Walking Dead episode a 9 out of 10. It's not amazing, but it is a very good premiere. It catches up on the characters, it mixes comedy with action, the just amount of each. It gives the right amount of each element to it. It gives a lot of character development with some action scenes, because the World War Z type helicopter going through the roof at the Big Lots was pretty intense, pretty amazing stunts. Probably the biggest stunts they've done on the show, which I really like. So I like the makeup for the walkers this season. I think the makeup is improving throughout the show. I love how every season the makeup gets more intense to make the walkers look like they're more decayed. I like that. This just shows how much time they spent on the show. And let's see, anything else? I think that's about it. So I'll just call it here. So see you for next week's review, guys. I'm gonna try and review it.